Beat Cyber just in time. I'm sorry, kid. Hey, Dark Ray. A train wreck in what way? Oh, Ava. I would say the same thing about my complex too, kid. Although I don't live in a complex, but I would say that the same amount of care is being put into the living situation of the people here. I didn't know that was a thing, a fried honey bun. Oh, I guess you didn't either, Cyber. That sounds scary, actually, to me. Uh, Remind me where you are again, Wong. Oh, New York, word, word. How's the lockdown, Tom? Wong, Tom. How's the New York lockdown? Yeah, same situation for me, Kid James. A lot of older people around here. time I go out, there really isn't that many people out and about. It's weird. My parents live in New York City now, and they've been sending me pics of dead streets. That sounds essential. Even as somebody who doesn't drink, Maddie, that sounds essential. Is it busy though? Has he said whether it's busy or not? Oh, that's like really, actually really nice. Mom. Every day. I don't really know a lot about wine, I guess. I mean, I'm trying to think of any type of establishment that I go to every day that would sell just one thing. Maybe a bookstore. Although I don't know that I would be buying something every day. It's cool. Yeah, that's how I would imagine most people would buy it. Maybe, but I'd be wrong. Oh crap! What was that? What was the Friday one? I don't remember. Give me a second. Um. Oh! I played. I got there. I got there. Cos would remember. I got there by playing vanilla. An alternate version of vanilla. I'll get there by just playing vanilla again. It's in there, I think. only 2 days old, so I'm sure I'll add something to it at some point. It does sound good. It does sound good. When somebody says shoyu, though, I think of ramen. That's like the first thing that comes to mind. What's your recommended fried chicken place? Um, well, I need more context. I need more guidelines. Cyber, like my most recommended chicken place, like in the area of LA that I live, or like takeout place, local. A place that's a takeout place, local, that does chicken. I wanna steer away from big chain maybe, because I mean there's like a Popeyes around here. That's good. Um, there's a place called Tokyo Fried Chicken. I actually don't like that much. So maybe it's a bad recommendation, but I think that it's important to try it. The reason I don't like it is because of the price of it, Cyber. But I think it is good chicken. It is good chicken. It's interesting. I guess I would recommend Tokyo Fried Chicken. I think there's only one of them. I think. I could be wrong. Oh, but if I want chicken, so you're saying if it's just I want chicken and I'm gonna go to a place, I'm just gonna go to Popeyes. Honestly, I'm just gonna go to Popeyes. Um, but I think that there, for at least for me, there is a distinction between what I would go to if I want the thing and what I would recommend to people, because I don't trust that my tastes are relatable in most cases. Um, if that makes sense. Because, like, for example, like if I was gonna get ramen, I would go to Daikokuya, but I don't know that I would specifically recommend Daikokuya to people. Because the only reason I go there is because they have just like a spicy ramen. Like, I won't go to a ramen place that doesn't have a spicy ramen option. And I realize that that's not that important to most people. So I feel like what I would eat versus what I would recommend usually aren't the same thing. What's another good example of that? Sometimes I'll go to boba places just that have a good atmosphere, that play good music versus that actually have good boba. I would say that most of my money is spent on like a mediocre boba that has good atmosphere, and then places that have really good boba but like whack atmosphere. I very very rarely go to, but I do recommend those places to people because I know most people that go to a boba place aren't really trying to stay in there for like up to 4 or 5 hours working on things. Most people just want to get a drink and go. There's no Popeyes near me, says Maddie. I've never actually tried it before, but it looks so good. It's okay. It's okay. I would say that it is. I mean, some people get upset if I compare it to KFC, but it's like in my opinion, just like a more like Louisiana version of your typical bucket chicken. Bucket chicken being like KFC or churches. So I would say that it's better than those other things. They also have spicy options, which is, again, probably one of the only reasons that I go there over most other chicken places. I do like things to be spicy, and usually if you don't have a spicy option on your menu, most places do. Like, even if you go like something like Wendy's or Jack in the Box, they'll have like a spicy chicken sandwich. But some places don't have spicy anything, and it's hard for me to eat food consistently that's not spicy. Unless I'm gonna add my own spice to it. Like, even when I'm making like pasta or something like that, I like add hot sauce to it. That's just like unless it's like a spicy sauce or a spicy sausage already, like that I'm adding to it. But it has to be spicy. It has to be spicy, or else I can't taste anything. Yeah, that song still doesn't have a name, but it's still developing. But I'm gonna try to at least play it once a stream for the next 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, so that I can kind of commit it to memory, the same way that I did with Clover Salad. Where even though I forgot Clover Salad for a second, it didn't take me long to relearn it, because it was like committed to muscle memory. Azels. Azels. Word up, word up. You know, I haven't been to Seattle for a full calendar year now, but next time I go, I'll have to try Azels. I feel like a bad thing. No, this is a good thing. This is a good thing. Usually when I go to Seattle, or any new city for that matter, I will usually revisit the places that I love, and I already know are good. And then I'll pick one new place to try. So last time I was in Seattle, there's a place called 8 Ounce Burger that I really really like, and I went there, and then somebody took me to Dick's, which was a place I had never been before. And that was good. So next time I go to Seattle, I'm probably going to eat Dick's and 8 Ounce, I guess, and then pick a new place. And Azelle sounds cool. I don't think I've had chicken in Seattle yet. I think French Vanilla is a funny name for that song. I mean, for the song that spawned from the alternate Vanilla. I think I saw Maddie say something like that earlier, but I thought she was talking about the alteration of Vanilla, not the new song. Yeah, Dick's is great. 8 Ounce Burger is also great, but Dick's is great. I crave that place actually pretty often. Pretty often. And I've only had it the one time. So that's really sad. Vanilla Bean, another suggestion. Oh, hi Ava. I forgot Ava was in here again. Well, you can shrink a lot of those, Maddie, because I don't have like the widest palate. If any of those recommendations are seafood based, I can't eat them. I can't eat them. I don't know your stance on seafood. Pepper steak? What's pepper steak? Are you the same? Are you the same about seafood cider? It smells like street meat. That's what my cul-de-sac smells like right now. I don't know how many of you guys have been in Los Angeles. I mean, it happens in quite a few other cities, just not to the same concentration I've noticed in Los Angeles where just there's always somebody with a cart with like a propane tank and just making bacon wrapped hot dogs. That's what my cul-de-sac smells like right now. Bacon wrapped hot dogs. Food is one of my passions, says Maddie. Passions. I love giving food recommendations to people. What are the 3 reasons, Cyber? They might be the same 3 reasons as mine. Pepper steak. If you go to Japan, I recommend pepper steak, says Ava. Okay, alright, okay. I don't know when the next time is I'm going to reasonably be able to travel to Japan, but I will keep it in mind. I will keep it in mind. Pepper steak. Is it like Hamburg steak? Hamburg steak. It's usually more expensive, so that's one of the reasons that Cyber doesn't go for seafood. That's a reason I can count. It's not really one of the reasons for me, but it's like rather an incentive for me not to even want to try it. But yeah, it's usually more expensive. It's often too much effort to eat, like cracking shells and stuff like that. Oh, for such little food. Yes. Okay. So less food, more work. I agree with that. It's like eating chicken wings. And it's super messy. Okay, yes. I don't know that I've seen, I guess there's some seafood that isn't messy. But the 3 reasons that you listed are pretty consistent. Yeah, seafood tends to be more expensive than other meat options. It also is a lot of work. I guess unless you're eating, I don't know, like mackerel patties. My mom used to make mackerel patties, which are just, I mean, it's like a fish chicken nugget at that point. Or like fish stick. I don't know why I went with fish chicken nugget. Fish stick is a thing. It's like a fish stick. But you're right. Those are not the same 3 reasons as mine. I guess number one is that it makes me sick. That's like first and foremost, right? So eating something that makes you ill is difficult. But it's not like I never do that. I mean, I'm lactose intolerant, so dairy to certain degrees makes me ill, and I still choose to eat it because usually the things that it's involved in are good to me. Usually, but I also don't like the texture of most or any seafood I've ever tried. Things like octopus, fish, shellfish, shrimp, stuff like that. I don't like. Like in my mouth, it's got a really nasty mouthfeel. So, it makes me sick, plus it feels gross in my mouth, and it's more expensive. So, I guess that we have one reason in common, Cyber. It is more expensive. I don't think I've ever gone to a restaurant and looked at the menu, and like chicken teriyaki has been more expensive than like the sushi or the fish option or the octopus or whatever. So, yeah. I'd have to agree with your first reason as way less. It is really unfortunate, right, that I was born and raised in Arizona because we're pretty far inland. I wasn't born on an island or something like that. I feel like it would be very difficult to be born on an island where most of the food makes me nauseous. But, yeah, that wasn't the case. Getting sick is a very valid reason. Thank you, Maddie. A lot of people don't see it that way. A lot of people, I'll tell them that seafood makes me sick, and I think their immediate reaction is, oh, well, you should try this seafood instead. I totally get it. Octopus makes me sick too, but you should try squid. That won't make you sick at all. And then it does, and it's a big waste of money. The thing that baffles me in towns where seafood is more common, it inexplicably becomes more expensive. That is weird. No, that is weird. I mean, sometimes it's a little bit cheaper, but it's still not cheap. That's the thing. Like, procuring seafood, again, unless you're on an island, is just more work than procuring, I don't know, chickens or cows. And so, it has to be more expensive sending the people out there. So, yeah. I guess enough talk about seafood. I don't really want to talk about this disgusting stuff. Finfish makes me nauseous. Oh, says Ava. People don't believe me for the longest time. Finned fish makes me nauseous. But things like octopus, I guess, and crab wouldn't. I get what you're saying. I think. Shellfish is okay, squid is okay, shrimp is okay, but salmon, tilapia, and queasy are worse for the rest of the day. Tilapia doesn't even smell good to me. The smell of most fish cooking makes me really sick. Like walking by like a seafood restaurant makes me really sick to my stomach. Uh, yeah, I mean, I'm glad. I'm glad that there are people in the world that really like that food. I guess it's not going to waste, whatever that means. We're not being overpopulated by a bunch of shrimp because people really like those ocean bugs. Or like, there's a lot of people that like I guess eat like deer and stuff. Deer or just horses, like horse meat. Some meat seems weird to me to eat, and I know it's just like mostly a cultural thing. But some meat seems. I mean, if there's any vegetarians in the stream, I'm sorry. This doesn't. None of this makes any sense. Unless you're one of those vegetarians that still eats fish. Somehow, it's another thing I don't really want to get into. I'll eat all of it. Jesus Christ, Maddie. All right. I started playing Flight Plan, but I never finished it, so I'm not gonna try. Pescatarian. I knew it. I knew it. I actually okay. So I didn't want to say that when you were talking about it, Cyber, because I try to be open minded as far as like what other people want to do now, but what I want to put in my own body. But when you said fried honey bun, all I could think about was like fair food and how like in the fair people will just drop like Twinkies and Snickers and stuff like that in the deep fry. And so when you said fried honey bun, I don't know exactly what my reaction was. I don't remember, but I was trying not to be like, yo, that sounds disgusting. But you saying that a fried honey bun was just the worst honey bun makes all of the sense in the world to me, because that's exactly what I thought was going to happen with that. That didn't seem like a road that was going to go anywhere good. But I'm glad that you tried it for all of us in the stream, and so that now we'll know. Oh, God. Oh, that's awful. Okay. What's funny is like I used to go over. It smells like bacon wrapped hot dogs. I used to go over news at 50, at minute 50, because it used to take roughly 10 minutes to get through it all. But I mean, for those of you that have been in the streams lately, you know that with the current state of everything, there's really no updates on my end for anyone. I've even fallen into like a weird like a temporal vacuum. I feel like time hasn't really been passing. Yesterday, I had to remind myself several times throughout the day that it was Sunday. I almost said Saturday. Yeah. Yes, today's Monday. Today's Monday. Thank you. Yeah, today's Monday. So like I had to keep reminding myself what day it was just because my usual schedule is completely crushed now. Even like my work schedule. Now the only thing in the entire day that's consistent really is the stream. And I think that if the stream were gone, I don't know what I would be doing right now. Probably wallowing or playing video games. So there's no news. There's no news. The only thing to update you guys on is that the stream is continuing to happen, and that I am still setting up for a production stream. The only thing I'm missing now, again, is a mic for the production stream. A mic and like a proper setup to where I'm going to place it and how all that's going to work. But that's where we are as far as stream news. But regular stream update is that it does still happen every weekday at 9 o'clock. I do like that the stream continued while I was up in the mountains. If anything, it helped me to realize that I can still do a stream remote as long as I have a keyboard and a interesting thing to talk about for roughly an hour. Which usually, thanks to the stream, I only have to talk for about 30 minutes because people will pick up the slack, so thanks for that. The days are kind of starting to blur together for Maddie as well. Oh, thanks, Cyber. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Somebody give me the last two songs. I'll do two more. They have to be songs I can actually play though. Um, that's what it seems like, Maddie. It's so funny seeing anybody say Witchy song that's not Cause, who's missing from the stream today. Usually requests Witchy song and Flight Plan. And so those are like his two most requested. As bored as I am, I'm going back to driving to work, putting on real pants. Oh, yeah, I mean, real pants. Oh, as opposed to like sweatpants. Sorry. You're right. You're right, though, Manny. You're right. You're right. It is going to be like I feel like everybody is kind of going to be really rusty for a second, but yeah, staycation indeed. What kind of dog do you have, Aliana? Oh, that's cool. I gotta like sell Witchy songs so I can stop sitting in this bag. I feel like I have a limited space mentally for just songs to remember that don't have a place that never get released. And when I use them on something, when I put them into a score, or when I put them on Spotify or whatever, they kind of it frees up some space in my brain for other songs. And sometimes to free up that space, I'll just forget the song, like I did with Clover Salad. And so I mean that's the most regrettable option. I hope to be able to do something interesting with Witchy Song before I completely forget it. Witchy Song is in my like joke score of the Boston Dynamics like Robot Dog video, but I mean I need some type of like actual sustainable use for it. Oh, that's cool, Liana. I forgot. That game exists. That game did take over. That game did take over the timeline for a minute. But I feel like either it has receded a little bit from the timeline, or I just haven't been on the timeline as much anymore. Hmm. God, that does smell really good. All right, well that's witchy song. I'll do. I'll do. I have to do flight plan. I mean, whatever. Wherever Cause is, I hope Cause is having a good time. Do you play Animal Crossing Cyber? Oh, did I say that in the stream? That sounds like, I forget saying stuff, but sometimes you guys will reference things that sound like, wow, that sounds like something I would say. But yeah, that sounds like something I would say, Cyber, so I believe I said that probably in the stream. I do like games with stakes, so I guess in that we're similar. Very anxious. I just pause and play Animal Crossing 10 minutes. Oh, word up. Word, Ava, word. When people tell me that, I always wonder what that is for me. Like, what's my Animal Crossing? Oh. You'll have to let me know how it is, Cyber, because I might not ever get to play that game. But, yeah, Ava, I'm like, what is that for me? Because it's definitely not Animal Crossing. It used to be Zelda Twilight Princess for me. I played through that game 12 plus times. Hmm. I've come to terms with the fact that I'm not really a Zelda fan anymore. If I ever was. Um. Hmm. I don't think that I was ever a Zelda fan. I think that I played Zelda Ocarina of Time because I was young and there just wasn't that many options for Nintendo 64 at the time for me. And so I played it, and it was interesting, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that there was a musical instrument in it that you could play and things that you could kill. But I think that Zelda kind of could have been reskinned to anything, and I would have played it, if that makes sense. If that makes sense. And when Zelda continued to go on, with Majora's Mask and Twilight Princess and all that stuff, I just didn't play them because I felt like they didn't appeal to me. And sometimes I ask myself if Zelda Ocarina of Time came out later with better graphics, if I would have played it. And I think the answer is no. I think the answer is no. I wouldn't have played it. Even if it had the musical instrument in it. It's just, there are a lot of games, particularly for the Nintendo 64. I'm not the biggest Nintendo person, but there are a lot of games for Nintendo 64 that, in retrospect, I think I only played because there was limited options for me, and not necessarily because I was like some type of discerning tastemaker that was playing games that I thought I would like. I was just playing games that I thought I would have the ability to play. Maddie never got into Zelda before Breath of the Wild, but that's because she has a Switch now, so that makes sense. My favorite Zeldas were the 2D ones. Link's Awakening is probably the one I replayed the most, says Cyber. And that's another thing. Replaying games is something that I also only did when there was no other games to play. Replaying a game is something I only do if a sequel to that game has recently come out and I've forgotten the story of the initial game or how to play it. Sometimes I'll do like a refresher course as long as the prequel wasn't too long of a game. I'm going to take up too much of my time. Or if, I was like 13 and didn't have a job or my own money and I was bored and it's just like, well, I can either go outside and sit around or I can replay Fighting Force 2 on Nintendo 64 for like the umpteenth time. And so usually I would just replay through Fighting Force until I got to the point where I memorized everything in that game. But I think, whoa. Ava doesn't like Breath of the Wild. Oh, wow. Interesting. I like that. I like that as somebody who's never played Breath of the Wild. I like having a fresh take on it because everybody like lauded that game as like the best game to ever come out, and it was like the game of the year, and it won a lot of. So I just haven't heard any negative opinions really on that game. So that's refreshing. Yeah. And at the time, there were no other games to play. I could make that same argument about Breath of the Wild. Not to say that Breath of the Wild was bad, because again, I have not played it. But that Switch had such a limited library that Breath of the Wild wasn't exactly up against a bunch of other titans as far as games, just releases. I really love the history behind Zelda. The games felt so barren, says Ava. I think replaying games is a thing I don't really do anymore. So usually when I hear somebody say like, I replayed this X amount of times, I love Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts was like my thing, but I've only played through the game 3 times from beginning to end, maybe 3 times, and I've owned that game for 15 years, whenever it came out. It's about collecting, grinding, which are things Zelda has never been about, says Ava. Oh, go. Thank you. It's about grinding and collecting things, which Zelda has never been about. Twilight Princess is my favorite because of how many unique characters and the world is. I guess Zelda has never been about grinding. There was never a leveling system. You just kind of get new weapons and items and abilities, but yeah, there wasn't like, there wasn't a lot of like traditional RPG aspects. It's a good point. I don't think it's bad, I just don't think it's for me. Ava. That's a good point. I feel like when I say something isn't for me, people think I just think it's bad. Like Animal Crossing being one of those things. You said Toilet Princess. Toilet Princess would have been good. Older games are way more railroaded. I think. How can I close this up? Basically, this whole conversation started because I don't even know if I asked Ava why they liked Animal Crossing, but they did say why they did. And as somebody who doesn't care for Animal Crossing, I wondered what fills the archetype of Animal Crossing in my gaming life, or just in my life in general. You're saying when you get really stressed, taking out Animal Crossing and playing it for a few minutes is relaxing to you. I'm pretty good at stress management. I don't get stressed too often, but I think the reason I don't get stressed often is because a lot of the things I do in a day maybe do for me what Animal Crossing does for you. Cooking can be very relaxing to me and calming, as can playing piano, which is a thing I do for at least an hour a day. Producing music is not relaxing for me at all. Producing music is very mentally taxing, but playing piano doesn't have to be. Improv doesn't have to be. So, I think what Animal Crossing does for you probably just like I have I have a lot of little Animal Crossings sprinkled throughout my day, Ava. So like going for walks is really good. I try to do that at least once a day. Um, Riding the subway or riding trains in general, which right now I haven't really been able to do, and I'm noticing, a slip in sanity because of it. But taking public transportation, cooking is a big one, reading is a big one, playing a piano or some type of musical instrument is a pretty big one as well, and watching TV, I guess. I don't know. Actually, there's a lot of things that are just like pretty chill. I don't engage in a lot of very stressful activities during the day, and that's not like a thing that I'm choosing to do. I think it's just a luxury that I have because I definitely used to engage in very stressful things all the time. Not because I wanted to, but because I just had to. That was just the way my life was, and a lot of those things seem to have like dissolved from my life. Now to news. I don't have any new shows coming up because nobody does. And I don't have any new songs coming out because I just released a song called The View, and I'm allowing that song to have some breathing room before I get on my new releases. Also, I just haven't really been working on that house EP as often as I was a few weeks ago before the lockdown. Quickly. Ava says, I love drawing and art, but it stresses me out about a piece until it's done. And as soon as it's done, I'm hyped, but having works in progress I need to work on stresses me. I always have works in progress. I don't think I've ever not had a work in progress for the past 8 years. It only stresses me out when there's a deadline. And most of my personal stuff doesn't have a deadline, at least not one that isn't enforced by me, which, is a little bit relaxed. Okay. I've had a hard time with art recently. I feel the pressure to make the pieces instead of just doing it for fun. Oh, screw that, Maddie. You gotta try to let go of that if you can. I always have whips too, says Ava. That's my secret. I'm always stressed. Aww. I think the reason that whips don't stress. No, I can't get into this. We're already 10 minutes over time. If you're in the next stream, Ava, let's talk about stress management because I could fill like a 5-hour stream with stress management. That's been like my last 5 years. I feel like I moved to LA like just to like a tightly wound ball of stress, and then the city tried to kill me, and then I realized, oh, I can't. I'm not going to be able to survive out here if I keep carrying this much stress around with me. So we can make that next stream. Because I'm not gonna go until like 10:30 today, like I usually do. Also, next stream is going to have a production segment in it, so eyes and ears for that. No new shows, no merch right now because of, the state of the country. As far as songs, I do have one song that came out, a recent single called The View. It's available on Bandcamp and Spotify. I think I have it pinned to my Spotify right now. If I don't, I'm going to do it briefly after the stream. And in comes Isidora at the final 5 minutes saying, they changed the time in Spain and I'm late on the stream. Hi, Isidora. Oh, that's so sad. It wasn't like the Spanish daylight savings time to finally kick in. It's okay, Isidora, though. At least now we know. And plus, it's Monday, so this is just the beginning of my 5-stream streak. So I'll see you in tomorrow's, hopefully. But it was nice to get to see you before I ended. I'm kind of glad that I didn't end on time, for that reason only. But yes, good morning, Isidora, and I apologize for the time mix-up. Okay. No new shows, no new music, except for The View, which came out. It should be pinned to my Spotify now or soon. Also, I have Ego Death and Quick Breath, Ego Death being an ambient release, Quick Breath being an upbeat, more house-oriented release. You can find them on Bandcamp, SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Google Play, Amazon MP3, Tidal, Group, Deezer, Pandora, Napster, and YouTube. We're on YouTube now. I uploaded a video to YouTube last week, I believe, called Honeydew, so check that out if you have time. If not, that's fine. It's not going anywhere. It's not time locked or anything, so it'll still be there whenever you do have time to see it. As far as other videos, I do have videos recorded for my song Into Thin Air and Hush Hour. I'm going to try to start doing that a little bit more often. If there's like a kind of a short acoustic song that I play, maybe I'll do a little a live YouTube video for it. For the people that can't come into streams, pause really quick because Dark Row has one question. How did you come up with Hush Hour? Oh, cool. That's an easy question to answer. Hush Hour actually used to be the bridge, or it in part used to be the bridge of Spring Street. Spring Street, the song that goes and then it used to go. So not exactly the same, but very similar. And then when I was in Hong Kong a couple of years ago, I was stuck there because Hong Kong was having a strike and the airports were kind of a mess. So instead of going out and getting too lost in the city, I mean, they had us just staying in the city, and the hotel was free, which was nice. And so I just sat in my room, and I was in a weird part of town. I felt like an industrial area where there was a lot of like warehouses and stuff like that. And it was rush hour, and I can see rush hour happening in the distance. I could see like a lot of cars and a lot of traffic. But the particular area where I was pretty chill, and also the fact that I was really high up in a hotel made it really quiet. You couldn't hear anything. Like, you couldn't hear honking. You couldn't hear anything that high. And so it was rush hour, but it was really quiet. And I came up with the term hush hour for that song. So good question, Dark Room. But since that is the closing song, I'm gonna play it now. Did I finish news? Yeah, the stream happens here every weekday morning at 9 a.m. You guys know that. Easy Door is now on the same time table we are. So I'll see you in tomorrow's stream, Easy Door. Actually, Darkroom, if you go to the video recorded for Hush Hour, you can see the video that inspired the name and arrangement of Hush Hour. It should just be called Hush Hour on my page. Oh, also, Easy Door, tomorrow's stream has a production segment, and the song that I made for the 100th stream, Cyber said that she would probably like because I had a cool bass line. So tomorrow I'm going to go over that song again and see, get some of your input on that. Alright, yeah, it's Monday. Thank you, Maddie, for the alliteration. Also, thank you for naming Jumpin' Jaybird, which is, I believe, what that song is called. I'll see you guys here for 104 on Tuesday. Please don't remind me, please remind me to make the 109 pun when the 109 comes around, because I really am going to be upset if I forget to do that. Thank you, Cyber. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being respectful to me and polite to each other. It's the internet, so that's difficult to do most times, I realize. Oh my god, there's an Herbalife car outside. Sorry, an Herbamate car. What's Herbalife? Anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow's stream at 9 o'clock. 9 a.m. Abo, everybody. There's an Herbamate car.